Thank you all for joining us today for our webinar on the trouble with KPIs. My name's Sam Sakakini, and I'm a member of the Exchequer team within the Advanced Business Solutions division. I specialize in ERP software systems for smaller organizations. Hopefully during this webinar, I'll be able to highlight why it's so important to identify key performance indicators, their roles in management and governance of the organization, and how to implement key performance indicators for success. Towards the end, I'll give you an insight into business intelligence tools and analytics which help organizations such as yourself digest the information and allow you to monitor, understand, and finally execute the right management decisions efficiently. KPIs focus on aspects or areas of our organization's performance that are critical for our ongoing and future success. They also measure our success in key areas and processes that affect our customers, our employees, and our shareholders. So over time, we've devised steps that we believe are what will make you succeed in getting your end goal. These are our 7 secrets uncovered. As you're looking down the list, you probably have done most within your organization. However, certain improvement techniques we have devised aid not only yourself, but the organization as a whole to get an insight you didn't think was possible. Let's take a look at the first one, measuring your business performance. KPIs can differ greatly across an organization, and what is seen as successful by the sales team may not be viewed as favorably by the finance department. Therefore, it is vital for each department to outline and work to their own individual set of KPIs, as well as the organization having its own set of business-wide KPIs. KPIs are, in essence, objectives or goals that enable an organization to measure its personal performance. They can be interpreted internally or used to benchmark the organization against competitors. If done properly, KPIs will provide clear goals and objectives for employees and for the organization as a whole, strengthening company values and providing an insight into how they relate to overall success of the organization. Employees can also be given personal KPIs to determine individual performance to be used in appraisals and salary reviews, further strengthening and promoting the importance KPIs hold. So clearly they're very important. How do we identify them? I'm sure if I asked you all to write down a list of all the possible KPIs to measure within your business, you'd probably run out of ink. This is why we utilize the SMART approach. They have to be specific. Simply using a standard set of KPIs is acceptable, but it may not provide insight into what's really important for your organization. KPIs must be specific and relevant to your organization so that your individual business success can be measured. Secondly, are they measurable? Most important questions to ask yourself here are your indicators quantifiable? Can you easily measure each one? If the answer is no, how will you measure the success? Your KPIs must be achievable. If you know it's impossible to reach a certain indicator, there's no point measuring it. Your KPIs must be realistic. Once you've selected your KPIs, you need to ensure they will provide an accurate picture of what you're trying to achieve. For example, if your overall company objective is to grow and develop the training and consultancy side of the business, but your main KPI measurement is unit sales, it won't provide a good portrayal of overall objective success. And lastly, they must be timely. For KPIs to be effective in informing decision making, they need to be prepared and reported in an agreed time frame. After implementing the SMART approach, it's now time to set your KPIs, and more importantly, rate them in an order of importance for the organization as a whole and for departments within that organization. It's always advisable with any change or new addition to the workings of an organization to start small, and the same goes for KPIs. Implementing gradually will ensure you stay focused, and over time, these can be developed and manipulated as your business changes. There's always going to be a risk that if you don't address KPIs in the correct manner, it could have a significant impact. However, if done efficiently and effectively, it's bound to have a positive impact, as this affects all other performance measures in a positive way. Businesses are frequently accused of focusing on the bottom line in the short term. KPIs offer balanced views of organizational performance, but more importantly, a sustainable long-term performance measurement. Now, KPIs are usually drawn from four perspectives. You have the financial perspective, the customer's perspective, the internal process perspective, and lastly, the innovation and learning perspective. From a financial perspective, you have to ask yourself, does implementation and execution of strategy contribute to the bottom line? Secondly, we have the customer's perspective. Ask yourself here, what value proposition will the business apply to satisfy customers and thus generate more sales to the most profitable customer groups? The internal process perspective. These are concerned with processes that create and deliver the customer value proposition, focus on activities and key processes required in order for the company to excel at providing the value expected by customers both productively and effectively. And lastly, the innovation and learning perspective. These focus on the intangible assets of an organization, mainly on the internal skills and capabilities that are required to support the value creative internal processes. Now, data used to calculate KPIs will most likely come from various broadcaster systems, which may or may not be linked. This leads to a very common area of failure when measuring KPIs, which is producing what seems like an endless list of reports. This can make extracting relevant data a very, very cumbersome task. So it's going to be difficult to collate data which is variable in terms of form, non-financial, financial, quantitative, qualitative, etc. This leads to another major area of failure, which is the disparity of report formats generated from these broadcaster systems. These result in being forced to compare different reports against different business plans, which are completely different formats to the accountancy software reports. With no real consistency, the measurement and tracking process can become time-consuming and prone to error, thus further diminishing the effectiveness of the KPIs you've worked so hard on setting in the first place. It comes as no surprise then that the greater the extent to which data collation is seamless and automated, the greater the impact on the ability to access and prepare KPI information when and where you need them. Collating critical business data in spreadsheets and linking this directly to your account solution will mean any updates are automatic. A more sophisticated solution like Exchequer can take this process one step further. But before I touch on the automation side of things, I want you to imagine you're on your desktop right now and have a report open in Excel. Now, I'm not going to be in too much detail regarding this, as it is a topic of future webinars. However, you can see here the report we've just opened is just a standard report. Pretty sure that you've set up similar ones within your organization. However, the beauty of Exchequer is the drill down functionality. Within our report, we have the ability to drill down from Excel straight into Exchequer. You can see here we've highlighted sales of batteries for the entire year. Now, if we wanted to interrogate this figure, all we have to do is double click. And this opens the sales invoice for the year linked to battery sales. If we want to interrogate a particular sales invoice, double click again, and we can see each transaction line within that specific invoice. Hopefully you agree, having that drill down ability to interrogate the KPIs within the reports you set give you unparalleled analysis and a greater insight. So by setting up KPIs to be monitored from within the account solution, not only does it give you unparalleled analysis, but the software can actually alert you to any changes. For example, if one of your KPIs is to achieve a target number of sales per week, the system can trigger an alert to inform you that the target's been hit. Alerts can be sent via email, text message, and to portal devices such as tablets, all making the measuring and monitoring process less time-consuming, enabling you to be more proactive. By automating the flow of information, organizations can become more agile in their decision-making and not only capitalize on best-performing areas, but also identify any areas of concern before any damage is caused. For translating and implementing results, I would personally recommend systems that are able to handle data challenges mentioned earlier and ideally cleanse the data to ensure its correctness from the outset. Once the KPIs are prepared, they need to be analyzed and reported. A sophisticated system that can report the information efficiently, effectively, and engagingly will allow time for analysis and insight, as well as gain the interest and commitment of users and decision makers. Dashboards can give you that extra edge when it comes to analysis and overall monitoring of the organization. So once you link everything together and you have a common theme running throughout your reports, due to the fact you're using your accountancy system as your core, you are able to have full control at your fingertips without having to deal with vast number of data sets. The data is live, tailored for individual end users, but more importantly, since you have all your KPIs stored together, you have the ability to analyze and trend spot you wouldn't normally be able to do using a normal system. Many of our clients have taken on board our business intelligence tools and offerings amongst other tools in the marketplace. When you combine this with the functional rich accounting system which feeds the BI tools with the correct information live, the results are more informed decision making and having the ability to be proactive rather than reactive, which in this day and age gives you the edge on the competition. Imagine if you had the ability to drill down from your BI tools and Excel management reports straight into your accounting system, all in real time. That's why so many people have used Exchequer and choose to use Exchequer. Exchequer currently has over 17,000 users and is growing. We've won industry awards more times than any other software provider, but I think the most important figure here is a 95% retention rate. When compared to industry standard, it's something to shout about. As a software, it's fully integrated modular accountancy solution. This makes it extremely capable and adaptable to your business. Because of this, we work with organizations ranging from a one-user system to 100-plus user system. Here are some of our more well-known clients. The majority of our clients you probably wouldn't have heard of as they are growing organizations. But over time, I'm sure they may well appear here, and it may well be your organization. Thank you for attending. I hope you found the webinar both informative and enlightening. I hope you can take away certain areas discussed and use them in your organization. I'd like to add, if you haven't already done so, please sign up for the Exchequer Management Reporting and Business Intelligence webinar on Tuesday the 5th of November. Information will be on the last slide, which I'll leave up at the end. On that particular webinar, we'll be going over certain areas we've touched on and give you a detailed demonstration of Exchequer software alongside our BI tools. If you have any questions regarding topics discussed, please don't hesitate to drop us an email or call us the number on the screen. Thank you again.